The dent cannot be fixed, and that's what my customer was told when he brought his car into another shop for repair. And the truth is more like really any dent can be repaired depending on how much time and effort you want to put into it. It's sometimes more cost effective just to replace the part, but in this case, it's just not. I'll start with the Keco slide hammer and glue tabs and see how much of this dent we can get removed by just glue pulling. I'll place a good portion of glue on this medium tab and we'll place it right in the center of the largest dent and we'll slide hammer that out. I'm using a series of medium pulls to slide hammer this dent out rather than trying to slide hammer it out all at once. Once I've got it pulled and got some good movement, I'm going to pull on the dent and tap down the crowns or the high areas around the dent to level out that metal. Here I'm using a spoon to spread out the blow of the hammer to flatten and level this metal. I'll continue glue pulling these dents and hammering down the high areas around the dents, and then we'll move on to the next step where I'll refine all these small little dings and we'll metal finish this repair before we use filler. I use an angle grinder with a 36 grit roll-lock disc here to remove all the paint and get some nice clean metal that we can weld to refine all these little imperfections in this metal. Now that we have the metal all ground, we'll use a tool called the G90E, which is a spot welder that welds this tip onto those low areas, and then you can use the slide hammer to pull the dent out. Very good for refining all these small little dents and dings. If you want to see more on this tool, check out the video link I'll leave at the end. Make sure to disconnect the battery before you use any welders or tools like this. This tool's grounded to the body of the vehicle, so I grounded it. Now I can pull out that center crease that we were having a hard time glue pulling out, and I can pull that out and refine that, shape this metal, and get it flattened out and prepared for some filler. Here I'm using a shrinking slapper to spread out the blow of the hammer so I can level out this metal. We can also use this shrinking slapper to file down the metal a little bit, show us any high or low areas that we need to straighten out. After using the guide coat and block sanding, it exposed all those low areas that we were able to pull out with the G90E. The G90E makes quick work of all those small little areas. We pulled those out, flattened out this metal. Now we're going to prepare this for some body filler. So I'll grind it clean, and then I'm going to feel over it with the flat portion of my hand. I'm going to feel for any high areas that I might have missed that I need to tap down before we go ahead and lay some filler in this. The next step is to prepare the surface for some body filler. We're going to use some 80 grit sandpaper on an orbital sander, and we'll machine sand the paint around this repair and feather edge out that paint. Make sure there's some good 80 grit scratches in this paint. Anywhere we're going to lay some filler, We want to have good 80 grit scratches for adhesion. Now, some fillers you can put over paint, some you can't, so check your technical data sheet for the product that you're using. Here I'll use an eraser wheel on a drill to remove that glue from the emblems. Now that we have this surface all prepared for filler, we're going to go ahead and clean it real well with some 70% isopropyl alcohol. We're going to remove any contaminants, oils, or dust so we have a nice clean surface when we apply our body filler. Now I've got my body filler ready to be mixed up. I haven't mixed it up yet. I always take my body filler to the repair, make sure I'm ready before I start mixing because you have a certain amount of working time with this body filler. The amount of time you have to spread filler is going to depend on the temperature and how much hardener you put in as opposed to filler. I think you want 2% hardener, around 2%, but you can adjust that just a little bit depending on the temperature. It's still pretty warm here in Oklahoma, so I'm using a little bit less hardener in my body filler so I have a little bit more working time and it doesn't harden up on me super quick. I'll go ahead and tape off the area I'm going to lay the filler. I especially want to put that tape on the bottom edge of this door because I don't want any filler to wrap around that edge, make it difficult to clean. I want nice clean lines. So I'm going to mix up my filler. I'm going to fold it in around the edge and then flatten it out. And when you flatten it out, it's going to give you a little bit more working time. It's not going to heat up as much when it's in a big pile, but you want to mix it up until there's no streaks in the filler. It's all one uniform color, and then you'll be ready to apply your filler. For the first coat of filler, I get a reasonable amount of filler on the edge of my spreader, and I'm going to press it in to the panel. This will allow for a good mechanical adhesion to the panel, also fill any low areas that you might have. As I add and smooth out this filler, I will use less pressure when applying the filler. This allows it to fill those low areas, gives me some material to work with when we're block sanding this out. Next, I share with you how to quickly and efficiently block and shape your body filler, get it into primer, and well on its way to a beautiful looking finish. For all that and more, click on this video now. I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time on Garage Noise.